What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a lovely day. Guys, we've made it to Friday. Let's go, man. We've been posting now 5 days consistently. I think now over 2 or 3 weeks. We've made it to another week, so that's awesome. And I want to thank you for all the support on the videos. Listen, you guys have been blowing it up. You guys have been doing very well. I very appreciate it very much. You know, like I say, always over on YouTube and on TikTok, both platforms, you know. The support's been very crazy, so I appreciate everything. And let's see if we can get to the 100 subscribers by the end of the year over on YouTube. That'd be great. But listen, jumping into this video is actually like a comment-based video. I always talk about in my videos like, oh, feel free to leave a topic in the comment section below that you're passionate about and that you want to see us do a video over here, something about my thoughts, or we can talk about it, discuss it, you know, in some way. And there was actually a comment that was left on one of my old videos about how much can we really remember. And I was reading the comment and I was like, okay, I can do a video about this, or I can just respond to the comment. But I was like, okay, now I'm going to do a video on it. And so then I said, okay, can I do a video on it? And then they said, okay, yeah, sure. And then it's been 3 months ago. So to Danny, if he or she is still reading this or watching this video, I hope you still stayed. And this is the video that I wanted to put out for you. But yeah, we're just going to read the comment and we're going to get into the topic today. And then we'll go from there and then I'll discuss my thoughts basically. So the comment, like I said, is from Danny-QI4PL. You know, that's the full username. And the question reads, what are your thoughts on human consciousness and us all being connected in that aspect as one collective? Now, for me, this is a very good question. It's a very nice question, you know, and it's a question that's like up my alley. I love thinking about these type of things and asking questions. And that's why I wanted to make a video about it in the first place, because I figured I could do it in the comment section, but there's so many things I could say, you know, and if I have to type it out in the comment section, it's going to take forever. But basically, the thought about human consciousness, right? And us all being one as a collective. Now, I will say, as far as like the collectiveness, you know, I don't think that we are like a hive mind. You know, if you've ever watched Stranger Things and they have like the mind flayer and certain things like that, they have like a hive mind where all the, what do they call, demogorgons are like connected to like the main big thing. I don't think we operate in that way. But in the same breath, in the same mind, or in the same conversation, you can say, okay, no, but people do have the same type of ideas. They have sometimes the same ideas. They have a lot of similar things in common. When they think about something, a lot of people think the same way. That's why you get a lot of different like ideas from the same idea, from different people. Now you could say, where do the people get the ideas from, you know? If everybody is different, how can we all have the same idea? That type of thing. So it depends really on like how you look at it, as in, is this person looking at this a question about like human consciousness as if we are all on the same wavelength, you know, and we all base our decisions and we base our emotions and we base our principles and stuff like that on the things that we receive. That is why I think everybody can be different and everybody can be the same as well in different aspects. Like if you look at like religion, or if you look at principles, you look at beliefs, core beliefs, you know, you look at values, certain things like that. Like some people, you know, have moral beliefs, for example, that certain things are not right. And you have the other people that do think that it is right. Like, you know, if you could take any example on something that's like there's a gray area, you know, and people stand on one side, people stand on the other side. But now, if you talk about like human consciousness and us all being on the same plane, we would all be thinking the same. And I think, like I said, I don't think there's a hive mind. Like we're all not like controlled, like, you know, by something bigger. We all still have free will and we still have that independence to say yes, to say no, to make our own decisions based on what we feel and what we think at the end of the day, you know? And then it also reads about us all being connected in that aspect as one collective. Now, us being connected as people, I think that the human, almost in psychology, the human consciousness is something that connects us all together, because we're all conscious, you know. But what is the human conscious at the end of the day? And if you want to ask that question, you can say, okay, it's about our experiences, our memory, our soul, our mind, all that type of stuff. All those type of aspects put us together and makes us who we are at the end of the day, you know. I'm not talking about consciousness as in like, you know, awake and he's unconscious and he's conscious, stuff like that. I'm talking about consciousness as in what we feel, how we experience life, the matter, you know, that we are made of, the stuff that we do, the things that we project, so on and so forth. Like if you ask me about that, I think that everybody goes through a lot of similar experiences. Like I wanted to make a video actually. This is a good branch to talk about my other video about how we all, there's like a trend, for example, that goes on where it says there's not one unique experience, something like that, around that. And it will show people like doing things that they thought no one else was doing. And meanwhile, like someone all the way over in like Taiwan or Kenya or somewhere, they were doing the same thing that you're doing, and you thought you were the only one, that type of thing. But I'm gonna make a video on that completely separate to this video. If we want to be more accurate about the human consciousness and what it means specifically, we could take a look at what Google says, and they say that human consciousness is a person's subjective awareness of their own thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. It involves a combination of being awake and responsive, a sense of self, and the ability to perceive and be aware of internal and external events. Consciousness is a complex phenomenon that involves the interaction between the brain, nervous system, and the entire living organism. Now that's just an overview, obviously, of like what it is, but that just speaks to me like the question even speaks to us, how are we, a collective in the human consciousness? And this is exactly what it is. It's how we experience things, what our feelings are, what our thoughts about everything. We share all that stuff with each other and also with ourselves, internally, of course, and externally. And I don't think that, like I said, it's more of like a hive mind type of thing, but more of a, okay, I've got this that's going inside of my mind, right? What is the other person thinking of? How are they thinking about the same thing that I'm thinking of and we haven't said a word? You have those moments where you think about something and the other person thought exactly that, and you guys just like are on the same page and you don't have to say anything. That to me is the tricky part. That is the question that's almost unanswered, that I find super interesting. And a lot of people, you have like creative people that will talk about like how they came across things, and it's insane, where we pull these ideas from, what we are inspired by, everything like that. It's really interesting, and it's a big topic to discuss. Like human consciousness obviously cannot and isn't explained fully. There's so much that makes up human consciousness. But yeah, just to summarize my thoughts about the question, that was asked, what are my thoughts basically on, everybody as a collective and the human consciousness and everything. It's a very big topic, and I like to talk about these type of things. And like I said, I think the way we all experience things individually, after that, there's groups of people that, like I said, about the gray areas and what we decide, or you can either stand on one side or another side. And also how we are sometimes influenced by like certain things that happen to us that make us up as who we are. We are aware that we are alive, but how are we alive? That type of thing. How do we think? How is it possible that we have these thoughts? Certain things like that, that's the curious part about consciousness and about how we experience it together. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. And I think that's the most special thing, that we're not alone in this, experience. We are sharing our consciousness together with everybody at this moment, in the future, in the past. We were all there with each other at that moment, sharing a moment and experiencing that together. And all of our thoughts are running through our minds, and we all have feelings and certain things like that. It's a very nice topic to talk about. I can make like an hour podcast type of thing about this topic. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to go too much into it. But I hope, Danny, you're seeing this video. And if you do, comment down below what you think about it. Let's talk some more. But yeah, I appreciate the comment 3 months ago. I'm so sorry. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Like I said, it's Friday. Enjoy your Saturday and Sunday. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.